Welcome back, folks. Episode 44 of the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. On today's show, we have Mike Connors from bulbs.com. Mike Connors came on the show to talk a little bit about the Death Star, Amazon. Ooh, how is it affecting lighting distribution, particularly online lighting distribution? We did a little spot on the Light 10 online video show about Amazon, and Mike reached out to us, and he wanted to come on. We had a great conversation. Greg, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was an awesome discussion because it's something that gets talked about a lot. Like we have a lot of different articles and things on Amazon and whether they're going to affect the lighting industry. That's to be determined as we discussed today, but it was a very interesting conversation overall. So
this episode of the podcast, Gregor, is brought to you by Keystone Technologies. Go to KEYSTONETECH.com. Greg, tell me a little bit about them combo drives.
So you know the smart drive and the direct drive where you can bypass the ballast or use the ballast. That's important to have. Mm-hmm. But the combo drive lets you do both. Use the ballast or cut the ballast. And the other part that it allows is that when you do cut the ballast, you can go single-end wired or double-ended wired. So you can do everything with this. And it's a great product that they have out there. They've advanced it and made it even more efficient now, and all the options that you need. So everything you'd expect out of Keystone coming through with another product that makes a ton of sense and is another great offering to what they already have.
For sure. You got to go to KEYSTONETECH.com, baby. That's KeystoneTech.com for all the great products. The Retrofit Kings, Keystone. And don't forget the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. Go to NAILD.org. That's NILD.org. Get some training. Join the association. Come on, man. Don't forget about it. Go to NAILD.org right after the show. But for now, let's have a hoot out of Mike Connors from bulbs.com talking about Amazon and the Death Star and the Beast on episode 44 on the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. Welcome to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast, Mike Connors.
Thank you, guys. Nice to be here and looking forward to our conversation today.
Say hi to Greg Eric real quick before we fire it up.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I'm good, Mike. Good to have you on. Thanks for being here.
Good. Yes, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about bulbs.com. Let's set the table a bit here for the listeners. What do you guys do down there?
Okay, so we've been in business for 19 years, started late in 1999. And have really made the business one that focuses on commercial customers. So we're 85% B2B. We started out really just using the internet to go out and find customers, acquire customers. Then it was mostly organic search and display ads. There was no such thing as Google AdWords or Bing. And we grew the company from there, and so we focus on property management, retail, hospitality customers. We sell to all types of businesses. They tend to be small to medium-sized organizations, though we've got several large marquee customers that we work with as well across the country. We ship all of our product that isn't drop shipped right out of Worcester, Massachusetts. And I think one of our more recent developments, and this is, I'd say, over the last 2 to 3 years, we've gained partnerships with, I think we're up to 24 utilities around the country. So we're able to bring utility incentives to our commercial customers. It's nothing that's unusual to you guys. That's a key part of being in this space. So today we still use the internet. I think we've got very strong paid search as well as organic search that brings customers to our site. And then we use a team of trained commercial lighting specialists to go and resell to those customers. We have no feet on the street to speak of. Everything is done over the phone.
Did bulbs.com start as a result of another lighting company?
No. In fact, none of us came from the lighting industry, so there was no brick and mortar presence. It was the founder of the company had been in the internet retail space very early on, and this was one of his startups.
Why lighting?
He got the URL bulbs.com, and the story goes that he went outside one night to bring the dog in the house, and the dog's pen had the bulb had gone out, and the light bulb went off for him, and he said, "Oh, there's an opportunity here to get lighting on the internet." It's as simple as that. It wasn't lighting experience. He had been a furniture guy prior to that, and it was just a brainchild. He went out, got some venture money, and started the company.
That's such an American thing to have, like, a story like that.
It is, it's exactly as I explained it. He just
like every American startup has some story like that. I was sleeping in my car. It's like, I was in Wawa, Wisconsin, and I started, my car broke down, and then I started this internet company, and boom. It's like, it's the weird, every American startups all have to have some kitschy story that goes with it. How did Mike Connors come to be involved in bulbs.com?
Yep. So there are 4 of us that have been here since that time, and we were all hired away from corporate America. We wanted to do something that was different, and if you turn the clock back to 1999, 2000, this internet thing was pretty cool space to be in, and we all wanted to learn how is that going to impact businesses, and gave us an opportunity to get real-time experience. And so we've got the 4 of us are still here, and we all, like I said, came from corporate America, from different walks of life. I was in mostly in manufacturing before I came here, and we've got somebody else who was with Boston Scientific, another guy from GE Plastics. So we've got a pretty varied cast, but nobody knew anything about lighting, and I was brought in because I had a fair amount of B2B or commercial marketing experience, and knew where we needed to take the business to get customers that had enough lifetime value that it would make it worth going out and acquiring those customers.
So you contacted us to come on the show because you had listened to some of my thoughts and Greg's thoughts on the Death Star on our Light Dead Online video show. And the Amazon is emerging, or I don't even want to give Amazon all the crap. I think marketplaces are emerging as a significant threat to the onesie twosie hard to find market. Are they emerging as a threat to the business to business lighting game, Mike?
I would say absolutely. They've hired people out in Seattle that have really strong commercial backgrounds. So they're hiring people like the 3 on this podcast that are experts in their space, and those and they're not rookies. They're seasoned veterans and across several different product categories. And you look at that the hiring that they've done. We're a marketplace partner with Amazon, and I can comment about some of that experience as well. But they clearly have the resources to do much more than they're doing today. Obviously, if you're looking for an SKU and you can go out to the internet and you can go to Amazon, you can find it. And the difference is that our companies, the companies that you 2 guys run and here at bulbs.com, is that we do bring a service element and a human element that is, I think, more capable of solving problems that don't start with I need a replacement SKU, or I want to buy this particular product. But Amazon clearly has the ability long term that if they see an opportunity to who knows, put feet on the street, they could do that. So that they're a real live threat that we see every day, and we have to, and just like what you 2 were talking about bringing the service capability, about working with utilities. There's so much that Amazon can't do or isn't yet capable of doing in that space. we have to leverage all of those tools at bulbs.com the same way that you guys do. Again, we don't have feet on the street, so it's a slightly different recipe that we're using, but they're clearly a threat to all of us.
What is this marketplace partnership? Maybe explain more about that and what you guys do with Amazon currently.
Yep. We had been contacted several times by them over the last, I'm going to say, 4 or 5 years to be a partner, and had really stayed away as LED lamps and fixtures were evolving, because Amazon is notorious for taking your product feeds, and over a period of time, they're building data, seeing which products are most popular, and then they go out and private label the products themselves. So we stayed away from them as LED A lamps, PARs, BRs were starting to evolve, and then TLEDs as well. And now that there are several partners who've been with lighting partners that have been with Amazon for a period of time, Amazon has all of the data really that they need to either replicate those lines themselves or not, and just continue to work the way that they have been. So we jumped in so that we could get a better feel for how does the Amazon marketplace work. We jumped in about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, and so we put a feed in. We pay 15% as our selling, so the selling cost to Amazon or being part of the portal. So lighting, I don't know for sure if there's enough margin in lighting products for that to be a really sustainable model for lighting people. So we're still there, but we've backed away from products that are really more of the hard to find lighting products, as opposed to mainstream, mainstream LEDs, TLEDs. There's a lot of competition in the marketplace for those products, so the margins just get driven down. So like I said, we've stuck with products that we believe are still tend to be very difficult to find, that not everybody's got one of the 3,500 lamp SKUs that we have in our warehouse.
One of the things that I find very, I'm going to use the word insidious about Amazon, is this fulfilled by Amazon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you participated in that program at all with them?
We haven't, because we didn't want to take the added investment of having inventory in their facilities.
Yeah, but I find that, they're kind of, they're leveraging their brand in order to force people into Fulfilled by Amazon. It's like that's what the end goal is. Like Bezos's end game is to force us all to use his warehouses, his delivery services. I mean, is he going to take over the U.S. Postal Service? Is that what's next? Depending on which politician were to, so there's things like that where it's almost like it's an entrepreneurial dictatorship in a way.
Yeah, there's they've purchased airplanes. Okay, so if you're FedEx and or UPS, you're seeing a company that's shipping a lot of packages now sort of invading your space. And I think it was positioned early on as providing additional capacity during peak retail season from November through Christmas up to New Year's. But if Amazon is capable of reducing their shipping costs by having their own delivery trucks, by having their own planes, they now have the capital to do whatever they want to do. So it comes down to Bezos and his team identifying the opportunities that make the most sense for them and deliver the best ROI. And if they see that opportunity, whether it's the U.S. Postal Service or buying Granger, that's another one that's been put out there over the last 6 or 7 months. Now, it could be just something that generated from the rumor mill, but they clearly have the resources. You look at some of the brick and mortar retail that they've purchased. They're into supermarket, and if they're capable of doing that, there really isn't anything that they can't do.
Now, when you're a marketplace partner of Amazon, are they dictating the price you sell it for, or are you giving them a number and they're coming back to you and negotiating?
Yeah, yeah, they want the marketplace partners to sell at the same price that they have on their website. So what really drives the prices or puts downward pressure on prices through Amazon is the desire on the part of people who are selling in the marketplace to win the buy box. Okay, so you guys have shopped on Amazon before. If you search for an item on Amazon, there's a product that comes up with several others, but there's one company that has earned the buy box for that item. And they've earned it by having a low price along with very good customer reviews and the ability to service the customer. So one thing you have to give Amazon, and we all shop, or many of us shop on Amazon, is that their service reputation is really pretty high. So that if you buy something and you're a Prime customer, there's a reasonable expectation on the part of that Prime customer that I'm going to have my product within 2 days. Amazon is able to beat that on a pretty regular basis, and that service component carries through everything that they're doing. So to go back to the buy box, you've got literally thousands of marketplace suppliers that are in our space, and it could be somebody who's got some dried up old inventory, or it could be a company like one of yours or ours who has up-to-date fresh product, wants to try and expand their presence, say in the United States or United States and Canada, and the way that they're going to do that is by winning that buy box and winning an opportunity to sell to a customer. But price becomes a really important part of that model, and that doesn't help the three of us.
No, there was, when you're thinking about, I had a point there and I looked at my notes here and then I forgot my point. But so give me 1 second with it. I'm going to go to another point and then probably come back to it. Okay. You mentioned feet on the street, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I remember. So I used to be the feet on the street. I used to go cold calling, say early 2000s, and I would go cold calling to sell people MR16s and T12s and T8s and all ballast and all that sort of stuff. And I remember there was like a little bit of, from some customers, you would get this feeling like, oh, I can buy it cheaper at Home Depot, or I can get it cheaper at Walmart. And there was like a little bit of a high from them if they're like, haha, I know where the lower price is. I find that Amazon, people like to buy on Amazon because they feel like they're doing their job when they find something online and it's exactly what they're looking for. And they feel like it gives them a feeling of empowerment. It gives them a feeling of control. And then Amazon's terms are so, stringent on their partners that you have to deliver. You have to, if an Amazon order comes in, you almost have to prioritize it over your other orders or something because you're going to get in trouble with Amazon or whatever. And there's almost like a glee. That's the word I was looking for. There's almost like a glee with customers when they're able to find something online, get it the next day or the same day, and get it through Amazon. And I think we're really in that glee stage with Amazon right now, and I'm hoping it collapses in on itself, but I'm not sure that this one's going to go away the way the Home Depot, brick and mortar, Walmart threat to the traditional lighting business has kind of faded after the honeymoon period. There's like a glee when people find stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I think that that's a fair observation. And we too would get the Home Depot, Lowe's comments. Again, we were selling to a lot of small, medium-sized businesses where they might have whether it was the business owner or a maintenance facilities person that was in Home Depot and Lowe's anyway, picking up other supplies that they need, and we get I can get that at Home Depot for X price, and so there are those really price sensitive customers that are out there, prospects that are out there, and we like a lot of lighting distributors would say, well, you don't have Mike Connors to call when you take that Lowe's or Home Depot product home, or you take it back to your business and install it, and you run into a problem. There's something wrong with a ballast or something, lighting controls, whatever happens to be. And I can share this too. We've had on several occasions gotten calls from Home Depot associates in the lighting department, and they'll have a customer in their lighting department. I'm sure that the ownership at Lowe's nor at Home Depot would like to hear that story, but it happens, and those customers just have questions that are too complicated for Lowe's or Home Depot to answer, so they'd come to us. But that pricing glee that you're talking about, I think Amazon customers are very loyal to Amazon. They're going to Amazon because they know they can get just about anything. I was on Amazon Business last week after our foiled first call, and looked up cold rolled.
What foiled first call? I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, that was me. And so you can buy sheet steel and steel for fabricating manufactured products. You can buy just about everything there. So it's how long will it be before larger corporations aren't just buying MRO supplies, but they're buying really meaningful materials for producing product, and they're getting it from Amazon.
I'm going to go over to Greg in 1 second, but I have to ask you this. On one of our earlier podcasts, we couldn't agree what MRO was an acronym for. What is it?
Maintenance repair organization.
I think maintenance repair operations. Maintenance
Operations.
reorder. Maintenance reorder. Nobody can definitively say what MRO stands for.
It's buying light bulbs.
Buying light bulbs.
Replacement
Yeah,
stuff.
it's buying light bulbs and ballast and all of that stuff.
Greggy, go for it.
Yeah. So in terms of the Amazon Marketplace partnership, has your volume grown in the year that you've been involved? Your sales volume on a monthly basis, or?
Yeah, it grew, and then we've made it decline because we looked at the profitability of various items that we were shipping and said we don't want to contribute 15% of the profit on those orders to Amazon. So we've pulled, I'd say, a third of the products away, and we found that those products were moving on Amazon because we probably had the prices too low. So we've made some changes. I'll give one small hint to any of you who are giving some consideration. Don't put 8-footers on Amazon.
I was going to ask about that.
Right. It's
well, you can do it regionally, can't you? So you can say, like Greg could say, 8-footers in Minnesota only.
Yeah, you have that capability, but we don't want to do it. 8-footers are difficult for us. We still ship them throughout the U.S., but we needed to have the 15%, not give it to Amazon.
I hear you.
So has your partnership as a whole been worth it?
I'd say on a 1 to 10 scale, I'd say it's probably a 4 with 1 being low.
Does it feel dirty to you? Like it comes across like it feels like you're dealing with an asshole or a dirty enemy or someone. It's like, I don't want to give this bastard more money. If he dropped dead tomorrow, I'd probably smile.
Yeah, if he's a VP of technology, but he's really our VP of.
I'm talking about Jeff Bezos here, not your VP.
Yeah. Well, if my guy heard you say that, he'd crack up because he hates Amazon. He will not be part of anything Amazon. And yes, it's a decision I made because I wanted to see what the marketplace was all about, wanted to understand what kind of product feeds you needed to be able to provide. How did the system work? How did Amazon work? How does the daily transfer of information work? What is an Amazon customer like? What are they thinking when they come to bulbs.com? And some of those things, obviously,
well, are all three of us are Amazon customers right here? Are we not?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, so there you go. There's three right there. I actually hired a guy. Not hired him. I consulted with him. He was an employee for Amazon India. And that was really interesting because Amazon has a lot of information that they don't share with their vendors. So I would say like 95% or 98% of the information you submit to Amazon, no one else can see, and Amazon takes it and uses it in their AI algorithms or whatever the heck they're doing on their computer side. Yeah. They have a lot of information about the lighting business for sure, and all businesses really.
Right.
Now, do you feel, this, you might be guessing at this or you might know, and you don't have to say if you know, but do you think that manufacturers of lighting products that companies like the three of ours buy from sell on Amazon directly?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think they look at Amazon as another distributor. Now, they're not like us. They're not even like us. Amazon certainly isn't like a brick and mortar or an omni-channel lighting supplier.
Well, they are brick and mortar. Sure, they are.
That's right.
They got two distribution warehouses in Ontario.
Yep. Yeah. So they're. I think they're. Most of those the manufacturers that are there are. I think that they've got to try.
Okay, Mike. Now you're getting me mad. Okay, there's only one kind of manufacturer in America: the guys that make light fixtures. If we're talking about replacement lights, Mike, there's only distributors selling to distributors. That's it. There's no light bulb manufacturers in the United States. So the reality is, you look at it like a master distributor, say, and that you look at them, and why wouldn't they sell on Amazon? I mean, I don't think it's an issue for them at all. I don't even think it's an ethical, legal, or moral issue for them. It's like you said, it's another distribution channel. Take it.
Yep.
But do you think they could actually sell for less on Amazon rather than the markup? I mean, whatever markup they make that they sell to us, and then we have to mark it up. If the manufacturer goes direct, they can always be the low price, and they can just sell everything through that.
Yeah. So I think that the tack that I see so far is that the manufacturers are trying to not sell below what their established distribution is selling for, but they clearly have the capability of doing that, and they're going to be a lot more efficient probably selling through Amazon because they can send if they're using fulfillment by Amazon, they can send their material to 2 or 3 distribution centers around the country, and their customers are going to get 2-day delivery. I actually think that some of the distributors are already fulfilling their distribution. Some of the manufacturers are already fulfilling their distributor orders from an Amazon warehouse. Yeah.
Like or some other third-party logistics warehouse where they don't have their own stuff. And like when someone says, "Oh, we have a warehouse in Nevada," it may not be their warehouse. It could be a third-party logistics warehouse that's in competition with Amazon.
Sure.
What I think is super interesting here, Greg, on your point there. Do you guys remember as far back as 2014? Because it seems like a lifetime ago.
Way back then.
Yeah, way back then. So we're in some factory in China. We're going to leave the name of the company out. So we went to check out a lighting factory in China. And we walked into their boardroom, and we met the manufacturer of the president of the factory there, where 6,000 people work. And Greg had been told by his rep from this company that the product that's branded with our name brand is made better than the same product that you get at Walmart or Home Depot, but is under another brand. And the one that's under our brand is better. So we're in the factory in China, and Greg's like, I'm going to check this out. So Greg turns to the interpreter and says, hey, when you make this product for that third-party labeler and this product for that third-party labeler, and then your own product, are they different qualities? And then the interpreter turns to the factory manager and speaks in Chinese to her. They both laugh. They come back, and he says, my manager said that's impossible to do. We make 40,000 lamps a day here, and the only difference is which line they go down and which package they go into. It's not possible or efficient to make them higher quality or lower quality, or we just make them. And so that's how a supplier behaves. Why would most manufacturers in the Amazon space behave any differently than that, Greg?
They wouldn't. They're just looking for volume and sales, and that's what would give it to them.
Especially when the price of LEDs is going down all the time and everyone's sitting on inventory that they want to move, right? So this idea that somehow people are going to stick with distributors, I think that there will be some that will, and I actually believe that those ones will emerge as winners. But right now, I think that is such a tempting thing. If you're sitting on, sometimes you call some of these bigger companies and you say, how many do you have in stock? They'll have 500,000 MR16 27K floods in stock in LED, And what are they going to do with those in a year? They're going to be worth half the price.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they got to do something with them. What are they going to do? Dump them into their distribution, send them up to Canada, send them over to Mexico? That happens a lot, by the way. Stuff comes up to Canada. But I don't see a way out here. I think there's going to be a crush that happens here, Mike. What do you see? Like, you obviously reached out to us. What are your biggest fears here for bulbs.com? Like, there's something you're worried about. There's something you're afraid of, and I think we all share it, but I'm going to ask you what it is.
Amazon is clearly a threat, but I can still say today that when our reps are on the phone talking with a parking garage operator, a university, a hotel operator, the number of times to date that they'll say, I'll just get it on Amazon, is still pretty small. So I think and it could be for this reason, that a real Amazon shopper probably isn't going to get in touch with us in the first place, that their loyalty is going to be with Amazon. So they've started their search there, and they couldn't find it. So we, by virtue of our ability to get in front of customers on the internet with organic and paid search, our most fertile competitor are electrical distributors and lighting distributors that don't have e-commerce. So the customers that we're acquiring are coming from brick and mortars that don't have an e-commerce platform or a way to be found on the internet. And that's going to continue until more of the brick and mortar guys wake up and get an e-commerce strategy that integrates with their field sales, their marketing, their branch strategy. So I'd say that 50 to 70% of our customers were buying from an electrical distributor. And we got some online competition. So there's us and, there's probably 2 or 3 dozen others, but there are maybe 3 or 4 online competitors that are mentioned on a pretty regular basis. So I think the biggest fear,
But they all sell on Amazon too. I know the competitors you're talking about, and they all sell on Amazon.
Right. Yeah.
Like all of you guys are there.
Yeah, but I don't think that the margins are high enough in this business to toss 15% of it.
Agreed.
At Amazon. So that's why we jumped in with both feet, all guns blazing, and said, okay, we're going to go in there and we want to get as much business. We grew the business steadily for 5 or 6 months and then stepped back and said, are we making money on all of these products? And the answer was no. So the 8-footers and several other products were pulled because we couldn't afford to sell them on Amazon and pay the 15%. So
and on that, yeah.
Go ahead.
Just on that subject in general. So the e-commerce strategy and the brick and mortar type of lighting companies, it is selling online all about price at this point, all about low price?
No, it's about being able to be found on the internet.
Okay. Interesting.
And if you can be found and you've got a good product selection and you know how to manage search, which isn't easy. I'd mentioned, I think before, Greg, that I've looked at your site. It looks good. You've got great search results. That's really, really uncommon across the brick and mortar lighting distributors and electrical distributors. And
I think selling online is like almost, honestly, it's like a different business. To be an online light bulb retailer is entirely, you need a different staff of people to be really good at it. Whereas having sales reps and order desk and counter sales people and people going around selling light bulbs is a different business, which is why, when all of the guys were nailed that do what you do, there was like a combination. Some of them had both going, but it's almost like two departments in those companies. One that does the online stuff, then there's like a call center, and then there's people that are to the feet on the ground or whatever. And it's a different business, and it's hard for small regional lighting distributors to really get into that side of the business well. And I'll be honest with you, Amazon makes it really easy to do that, to get online. It's actually easier to start selling on eBay and Amazon than it is to start your own website. It is. But they take care of the search results. They take care of if you search for a SKU on Google and it's on Amazon, the Amazon result comes up. Amazon is going to make it easier for non-online players to play online, and especially if they're the dead stock guys. Yeah, but it's not. That's only a part of the strategy of what should be for the brick and mortar guys, because all that gives you is the ability to sell online, but that customer is not your customer that buys on Amazon. When the customers that come to bulbs.com, and we acquire a little over 1,000 new business customers every month through search, that's our customer, because now we've sold to them, and our salespeople can call them and talk to them. And if they're managing a 5 or 10 or 20 location hospitality group, or they're managing several million square feet of property, we can pick up the phone, just like your salespeople could go out and call on them. So we've acquired a customer that we can talk to. We can't email Amazon customers and say, hey, come back and buy from us. It's all Amazon. We can't call them. They don't care about you. They care about the product they found on Amazon. That's it. Yep. Yeah. So that door, it's a one-way door, and you're giving up 15% of the revenue, or whatever the negotiated amount of compensation for Amazon, and you have nothing to show for it. You've got whatever margin you make on the order, and if it's enough, then okay, then maybe that you might be able to keep that customer, but you're only going to keep them in a downward race in pricing, because somebody else is going to steal a buy box from you. Now, in terms of operations, from your own standpoint, Amazon aside, what % of the product do you drop ship versus coming out of your stock in Massachusetts? Well, now that it's of replacement lamps, it's a fairly high percentage. I'm going to say
80%, 85% comes out of here. Fixtures, it's a different story. We maintain fixture inventory to sample to give our commercial customers an opportunity to, buy some, and for your project, we'll talk to you about it. And then the bigger retrofit we would do as a drop ship from the manufacturer.
Yeah,
So
fixtures
that's
take up so much
higher.
space. Fixtures take up so much space too.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And if you broke it that simply into bulbs or replacement parts versus fixtures, what percent of the business is bulbs and replacement parts of online sales?
Well, LED products, so luminaires and bulbs is 55% or so of our business today. Lamps, if I took the LED lamps out, lamps are still 70% or so of our business, but the luminaire business is growing.
Is that revenue or is that items shipped? What are you talking about? Revenue. Okay.
Revenue. And I think it goes hand in hand with the utility partnerships that we have that are helping to drive fixture sales.
Okay, that's my next question for you.
Yep.
Unless Greg, you wanted to finish your role in there, Greg?
Yeah, no, you go right into that. That's good. Yep.
Well, how much of your business is related to rebates? I'd say that a huge percentage of mine. I'll be with you on that. I would say it's well over 70%, 60% of my business has a rebate component to it. Where are you at with that?
I'd say below 10%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we're still selling a lot of replacement product, and we sell nationally. And while there are utilities everywhere, there aren't utilities everywhere that have caught up to the incentive game, either because their cost of producing electricity is lower than in other states or municipalities. So I think I'd mentioned that we're up to 24 utility partners, but that it still leaves a huge part of the country that we sell to that where there are no utility incentives. So I could see us being easily less than either of you guys.
You guys are online sales and you sell all over the country. Is there a particular region in the country that buys more from you? Is it because of your location, or is it because of online savvy? What is it that have you noticed over the years?
Yeah, our sales are distributed by population. So
wow.
California is our biggest state. Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have thought you had like a sphere of influence coming out of Massachusetts and then across, but that's interesting. The continuous United States. The continuous United States is the continuous contiguous. I don't know how to pronounce that. You know what I mean? Is like a weird thing, man. There's the only area that's like a dark spot will probably be that like Wyoming, Montana area, North Dakota, South Dakota, where there isn't a lot of trucks heading up there. But other than that, it seems like you guys can sell everywhere. Whereas Canada, it's Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver. In between, there's nothing there.
Right. Yeah. So we Massachusetts is a higher percentage than what Massachusetts population is of the percent of the entire country, but it's not by that much. So yeah, we sell everywhere: Hawaii, Alaska.
Wow.
And what year I know you have been growing, but what year did you have the largest increase of growth since you started?
Oh,
maybe not factoring in the early years.
Yeah.
If you steadied out, say 5 years in.
Yeah, I'd say the last really big growth year would have been in 2012, 2013. And it was really as LED prices were starting to fall. They still weren't $1.99 for an A lamp yet, but the prices of the product created a better ROI and payback opportunity for our commercial customers. So it was probably then that we saw a really big bump. Oh, and the elimination of incandescent lamps back in 2014, whatever, the 3 years that they were that the government regulations kicked in here, there was a lot of incandescent and halogen power lamp hoarding going on. And as each one of those deadlines was approaching, we'd have 2 or 3 months of crazy purchases. Like a homeowner would buy a pallet of
There's
something.
people that think like LEDs are really bad for you and stuff. Like, they're actually convinced that.
Sure.
I don't blame them. I mean, with the whole flicker thing, look, they were right up till about the IEEE 1789 thing about flicker. I mean, they're probably right. I mean, the LEDs are flickering on and off, and hey, with your incandescent, pay a little bit more on the electricity and don't get a flickering bulb. I don't know.
Sure.
I mean,
So
maybe some of those guys are right. What's going on with
there
your
a-
lighting system there, big guy?
Yeah, that's what you get when you put fancy controls in. I'll have to figure that out.
Mine just did that a few minutes ago.
I was going to ask, is there a certain day of the week or time of the day or anything that you see a bigger percentage of sales, or is it pretty even and spread out throughout the day and week?
No, it's the middle of the week is best for commercial customers. We sell to residential customers as well, but it's the core part of the week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Fridays, MRO buyers are taking the afternoon off, so we find Friday afternoons a little slower, and the weekends.
It's always nice.
Yeah, right.
And on a yearly basis, and maybe it changes every year, do you find one item hands down as your top seller, or like not specific, but an A lamp or a tube or a flood or anything like that?
You guys will get a kick out of this. Still in our top 20, it's out of the top 10 now. F40 Cool Whites.
Come on, man.
Nice.
It is that it's opportunity is out there, guys. That there are.
Did you check? But by state, though. But that's like certain states are bigger on that than others. No,
I don't know. I'd have to look in the on F40 Cool Whites.
Yeah, it's got to be by
yeah.
state, and it's
Probably.
Yeah. There's got to be some states that still haven't done rebate programs or whatever where that is.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, and then beyond that, it's the LED lamps are moving into a prominent spot in the top 20 products. So T-LEDs are big movers because we're in the hospitality industry. A lamps,
sure,
for guest room lighting,
sure,
retail par lamps. So nothing that you guys don't see. Our mix is probably similar.
And I usually don't close these out, but I kind of want to ask a question that I think might close it. And using Mike's terminology, is how can a lighting company like the three of ours capture the glee of the Amazon experience?
How can we capture the glee of the Amazon experience?
Yeah, that's what people are.
Yeah. I think that customers are going to continue to move toward Amazon. We've got to be price competitive, but us, just like you guys, we have to be able to create a connection to the customer, whether a solid connection with the customer, whether it's digitally or in your case in person. For us, it's over the phone, and we know that when we're able to do that customer is going to learn things that they couldn't learn with Amazon. So the threat there is if you've got an e-commerce platform that you're working with today, you have to keep making it better and have more content than Amazon has, because there are going to be shoppers out there who will find Amazon to be insufficient in being able to solve their need and being able to have a lighting design. Now, will Amazon get there someday? I suppose they will, but it really puts a lot of pressure on all of us to make sure that we're doing the right thing from a service perspective and really creating relationships with our customers.
Thanks for coming on the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast, Mike Connors.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye for now.
All right. Bye.
Whoo, Greg. That was a heck of a podcast with Mike Connors. It was brought to you by Keystone Technologies. Go to KEYSTONETECH.com, Greggy. KeystoneTech.com for the combo drives. Come on, man.
Yeah, so you know about the smart drive and the direct drive, and now they've got the combo drive. It really covers everything. It goes, can use the ballast or it can bypass the ballast, and it can be single end wired or double end wired. So what I like about it and what Keystone does great is that you can just sell the concept, the idea of something, an LED tube, for example, and not necessarily worry about the technology. Sell that thing, know that you've got all the options with one lamp. And Keystone's great at doing that with all of their products.
So let me ask you this. So if they're running it off the ballast and the ballast burns out, you just switch up the sockets. You're good to go?
Not even switch the sockets because it's double-ended wired.
Oh, you just disconnect the ballast. It doesn't matter. Yeah, just rewire it real quick. So, that's what I mean. You just disconnect the ballast. That's a great way to go. Oh, man. In Ontario, they don't let you use those combo drives, eh? What a bunch of... in Ontario,
time to move to Saskatchewan.
I don't know. Maybe. It might be time. Maybe Minnesota. I'm coming for you, Premier Lighting.
Come on over.
So that's got a KeystoneTech.com, the Retrofit Kings. We say it on this show. Great. Light made easy, man. They really do it well. They're really, especially with those really unique products. I mean, you're talking about a bypass that's single and double end, and it runs off the ballast, and it's in all the color temperatures?
Yes.
Do they have all the wattages too?
They have multiple wattages. Well, the 4-foot, it comes because of the ballast factor in different wattages.
Sure.
If you bypass the ballast, it's 1. But they do have 2-foot as well.
There you go. So go to KEYSTONETECH.com, Greggy, and the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. That's NAILD.org. That's nailed.org. And, of course, Mike, thanks for coming on the show, talking about the Death Star, the Amazon Beast. I think we can deal with this, Greg. I don't think we're going to get taken out. We're always going to be around. I don't know. I'm not that scared.
Yeah. No, overall, I'm not. I think it's something to be aware of and be ready for, but know how you can combat it. And I think we all have a good idea, and hopefully this episode helps us understand that a little better.
Thanks for listening, folks. Episode 44, Get a Grip on Lighting.
Written on the rectory wall, there's a sign there for all. If you are lost, the Lord is there to find you.